Good to see you again, Facebook family. This is your girl, Lotus Rashay, with Lotus Rashay Ignites Life Coaching and Consulting, where I am bringing inspiration to every nation because I love to help you ignite and do what? Take flight, right? So, tonight we have a magnificent guest, and you can hear behind me, you can hear his favorite song. And this song is by Yolanda Adams, and the name of it is Never Give Up. And I know it's a little slow, but it's a little slow to give you guys time to get on in here. So get on in here, come on in, okay? Because I have a seat for you. There's a place for you right here in my office. So come on in, come on in. And when you get in here, go ahead and type down below that you're here because it's just a wonderful thing to have you here. Just happy to see you here. So remember, this song says Never to Give Up by Yolanda Adams. And yeah, I don't own the rights. So remember, go by, support Yolanda Adams, and remember, never give up. So tonight we've got a phenomenal show for you. I'm going to have a gentleman come on here and he's going to talk to you about how to utilize your big dreams and make them your reality. Now, I know some of you have a difficult time where you may have people that don't believe in you, and sometimes you may not even believe in yourself. Well, guess what? You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about people not believing in you. And if you don't believe in yourself, guess what? You can make a change. But sometimes we need leaders, people who've actually done what we're trying to do to help us along the way. So tonight I've got a phenomenal person. So come on in, come on in. And when you come in, just know, put here. Let us know that you're here. And I want to find out where you guys are from. So if you're from New York or DC or Florida or Mexico or Japan or Jamaica, wherever you are from, come on, put it in there. Let me know where you're from, okay? Because I definitely want to know. So while we're getting ready to come on in, I want you to remember, don't give up and don't give in. Tonight, we're going to learn a lot of new stuff. Hey, Angie, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. And so we're not going to keep our guest waiting. So let's find out a little bit more about our guest. So our guest is just a phenomenal kind of person. He is an author. He's a motivational speaker. He is a true example for what we need to have in our lives when we need guidance. He is an amazing, he's just such an amazing role model. And so many people say right now that they're not role models. So those of you that's here, come on in, come on in. If you need a role model, you have come to the right place tonight because I've got a role model that's going to help you. He's going to help you change the way you think about yourself as we play out his favorite song, Never Give Up by Yolanda Adams. That's right. This is his favorite song. That's right. Because he wants to inspire you to never give up. So come on in, come on in. I'm trying to give everybody a little bit of time to come on in before our guest, before we bring them in. So come on in, folks. Come on in. Come on in and have a seat because I have room for you around the table. All right. So here we go. Go ahead, Yolanda. Sing it, girl. Never give up, never give in. This gentleman is an amazing survivor of life and of success. So with not another moment to wait, here we go. Let's bring him in. The big dreamer, Mr. Greg Walker. Hey, Greg, how you doing?
I am blessed to see you and blessed to hear your voice. Listen,
awesome,
just a
awesome.
blessing just to wake up every day.
Awesome. So Greg, I talked to the folks before you came in a little bit about you. And I told them that you are the big dreamer. I also told them how you are a magnificent role model, because a lot of people out there don't have role models. They and a lot of people don't want to be role models. I remember several years ago, when our buddy was with the Suns, he talked about, now I can't think of his name. He's gonna choke me, but we had a couple basketball players. Charles Barkley, there you go. Sorry, Charles. So Charles was saying like, "Hey, I'm not a role model." And so many people were looking at Charles like, "Hey, yes, you are. My kids look up to you." Heck, I was looking up to Charles Barkley because he was a great basketball player, and I played a little ball myself. So, I was looking up to him. But the fact of the matter is that we have to be careful the role models that we choose. And everybody doesn't want to be a role model. But I know that you are the big dreamer, and you really model people and show them and train them how to make their big dreams come true. So I wanted to talk to you tonight a little bit about that. And for those of you that's just coming in, come on in, get in where you fit in, and you fit right here at this table, because I always have a place for you. And let us know where you're coming in from. I see Angie. Thank you, Angie. You're here from DC. I see Daisy. I see Tracy. I see Dana. Hey, welcome, everybody. Would you please put in there where you guys are from? I think we've got Chicago in the house, and I think we've got Washington. And let's see, I think we've got Seattle. I think we've got Seattle in the house too. So come on in. Those of you that's here, we're happy to have you. We just love you. And I see Dana Priyanka Hammond. She said that is our best friend. We love him. He became officially her daughter's uncle. So awesome. So great. Fantastic. All right, fantastic. So now, we're so glad that Greg is here tonight. For those of you that are trying to find your way and you're having big dreams and you're having trouble helping your dreams to materialize and manifest, Greg's going to talk to us a little bit about that. So, Greg, would you please tell our folks who you are, what you do, and how we're going to give them some nuggets and some positive energy tonight? Positive energy. Those of you that's looking, do this right here. This is my thing. Positive energy from Greg, Big Dreamer.
Well, listen, thank you very much for having me on here. And I wish I could see everyone who's on here. I know Dana's on here. Phenomenal woman. She has a story that's just going to just turn people around. She's going to let people hear her story. She has a phenomenal story. I see this woman on a world stage soon, and everyone's going to know Dana's name. But I'm Greg Walker. I'm just a normal dude born in Columbus, Ohio. I have 14 brothers and sisters. Raised not in a good home. Education wasn't important. I became the first person to make it out, graduated high school. I had I had two. I look back now, and my mentors were two billionaires: Dave Thomas of Wendy's, of Subway, and the #1 motivational speaker in the world, Les Brown. 6 of his kids live here in Columbus. Les started his big career at WVKO, our only Black radio station here in Columbus, Ohio. So
yes,
I grew up with those kind of things surrounding me, and I became opened Subways back in the late 90s or 80s, and I became the second largest Subway owner. And then I went on to open with my business partner and a team of about 16 of us. We opened 270 taco franchises. I did graduate high school. I dropped out my first day because the principal asked me to. That's in my best-selling book.
Wait a minute. No. I can't let you gloss this over. The principal,
yes.
The principal asked you to drop out, Greg.
Yes, because of my siblings before me. They were known throughout Columbus in school. So when they heard, a 15th of 15 was coming in Columbus public schools, and they all dropped out of high school, before the 10th grade. And I can't blame them. I did at the time, and I did drop. I dropped out, but because of a 4'9" Black Christian woman named Miss Renee Rivers, who saved me that day, I'm here. I graduated with a 1.9 grade point average. I did graduate because Miss Rivers and another teacher, Miss Cozell, they changed my grades so I could be a 2.0 to graduate and go to University of Florida. So they were the first people who believed in me. My big brother Les Brown always told me sometimes you have to believe in other people's belief in you
Yes.
before you believe in other people, before you believe in yourself. So that's
Right.
that's a big thing with me. And
Mhm.
I married my best friend. You know,
Mhm.
married almost 33 years. I have a
Mhm.
daughter who's 31 years old. She just had
Awesome.
a grandson for us. He's 6 months old. So people used to call
Fantastic.
me the big dreamer when I
Mhm.
was growing up, not in a good way. And it was my brother T. Wayne Gatewood, the builder. And anyone
Mhm.
listening to this, if you want to see what a black man looks like, if you look in the dictionary into a black man, you'll see my big brother, my mentor, T. Wayne Gatewood, the builder. He's done passed on, but this
Mhm.
man was, man, this man was a phenomenal man, and he died of bone cancer. He fought it for 11 years with no chemotherapy.
Mhm.
He was a true. If there was a superhero, it was T. Wayne Gatewood, the builder. So everyone look him up. So
Mhm.
that's a little bit about my life. I started speaking later in life. I started speaking at age 48 because my dentist
Mhm.
and some goofy guy named Les Brown told me I need to join this thing called Toastmasters. Right?
Mhm.
I'm a type 1 diabetic, so I can't eat toast. So why would I
Right.
join a thing called Toastmasters? Right?
I'm a Toastmaster too, and
Yeah.
I used to eat plenty of toast.
So I had no idea what that was. I don't wear suits, and they believed in me. And within 6 months, I was speaking for the World Championship Public Speaking, and the rest is history. Now I get paid handsomely
Mhm.
to speak around the world, from NFL, NBA, to CNN, to Coca-Cola, to high schools, to colleges.
Mhm.
Someone asked Les. They said, "Who?" No, I asked Les one time. I said, "Les, who do I speak to?" He said, "You
Mhm.
speak to blue collar, white collar, and those
Every
with no
color.
collar.
That's right.
As long as they got you a check."
So, so it looks like that really Les Brown changed your life.
Yeah, he was a big influence on me. He was a big, he's a big, and you want people around you. I remember I was with my nieces one time, and I told Les that I was going to go speak in Australia, and I got $10,000, which is a lot
Mhm.
of money,
Right.
right? A lot of money. I don't care who you are. Warren Buffett, 10,000, a lot of money, and to speak for just an hour. And
Right.
I remember Les slammed his big, powerful hand on the
Uh-huh.
table, and
Uh-huh.
he said, boy, don't you ever leave this country for less than $25,000 paid up 30 days in
Mhm.
advance. You
Mhm.
pick the hotel, you get first
Right.
class. He said, don't you ever. And he said, boy, you got my number. You call me 24/7 with
Mhm.
this kind of stuff. So my niece said, Uncle, Les just yelled at you. I said, yeah, he yelled at me with love.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
like I would you if you were little and you ran in the
Yep.
street. Right.
Yep.
So yeah, he's a big influence on me.
And I see that when we talked earlier, you said that Les changed our lives. So
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that, how he changed not only your life, but your children's life and your wife's life.
Oh, without him encouraging me, I remember when I was going to the World Championship in 2017 in Vancouver, Canada.
Hmm.
I remember him we were doing a Facebook Live,
Hmm.
and he talked about he believes this young kid was going to go to the World Championship
Yeah.
and possibly win, and he was talking about me.
Mhm.
And I said, "You talking
Right.
about me, Les?" And he said, "Absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely." So he's one who convinced me. I wouldn't be doing this now if it wasn't
Yeah.
for Les Brown, my dentist, my wife, people who told me I need,
Hmm.
because I'm a very shy guy
Right.
in real life.
Hmm.
People just know me as I am now, but I never asked my
Right.
wife to marry me. My wife
Uh-huh.
has to, when event planners hire me, they have
Hmm.
to call my wife because they don't believe I was that shy. I never asked my wife to marry me. I gave her a ring to her sister Terry and asked
Uh-huh.
her to go ask, and I ran to my boy's house.
Wow. Wow.
Could do that. I couldn't hold meetings in my own Subway restaurants.
So how does Terry spell her name? Is it with an I or with a Y? With the two R's or what?
Uh, Terrie.
IE. That's how she spell her name. So Terry is the one that really um
She asked my wife
got
to marry me.
you. She asked your wife to marry you.
Yeah, and then I ran to my boy's house.
Go Terry. Go Terry. Go Terry. Thank you, Terry. Thank you,
When
Terry.
when you come to my event, you'll hear my wife say that. She hates saying that. She hates telling, because she's been telling people
Mhm.
all of our life, right? And there's reasons why I couldn't speak.
Mhm.
I thought bad things when it
Mhm.
happened to me, and now I know I have
Right.
that gift. Now I know I believe I have the gift to impact people. I don't know why, but as Les says, you don't need to know why. Just keep doing it.
Just keep doing it. That's right. And you know, the funny thing is, and that's why we put Go Terry, because sometimes when we dream a dream, we have to have other people that can help dream that dream with us so that we can make it come to fruition, because sometimes we are so shy, we won't go up to people and we won't talk to them. You know, I tell people all the time, sometimes I'm just kind of quiet, and they're like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm just kind of quiet. Or sometimes they'll be like, hey, why don't you say this? Well, no, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to do it. But like, if I had a friend and they wanted to meet somebody, I could go right up to that friend and be like, hey, how you doing? I got a friend, they want to talk to you. But before, when it would come to me, I wouldn't do it until I started to dream big. And now I can go up to people and I can talk to them. And this is the thing that I learned, is that if you don't move on your behalf, sometimes the higher source will have to move somebody on your behalf. But the higher source wants you to move on your behalf. And that's what a part of being a big dreamer is. You got to be able to dream the dream and then move into action. So one thing I wanted to ask you was, how did you move into action? And then I see we got some comments too. I want to take those too.
Well, I had people who believed in me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes it takes just one person believing. Started my
Exactly.
teacher, Miss Rivers, then Dave
Mm-hmm.
Thomas. I called Dave Thomas a fool when my teacher brought him in the 8th grade to meet us, right? Because he said he dropped out in 10th grade. And to me, anybody who does that, that's my family. You're a loser.
Yep.
Right. And then
Mm-hmm.
I found out who he was, and he became my mentor. He used to send me mentor us once a month in the inner city of Columbus. And then people like Les, you know, people like Fred DeLuca of Subway, my wife, my in-laws, right? Les's daughter,
Yes.
Serena Brown Travis. She might be on here now. She's one of my best friends.
Right.
She encourages me all the time. She said I encourage her, but she encourages me. She was one of the people who came up and made me. Serena taught me how to say no.
Right.
At 50 years old, 51 years old, she got me to say no when I had my amputation, and
Yes.
people wanted me to come speak. I couldn't say no. It was Serena, right? It was Serena was right by my bed, Les's daughter, and she says, "Greg, you would tell those people no." Exactly. So she's one of the people I always credit with helping me say no. No is one of the most freeing words that you can say.
Right, because you can't be afraid to say no. And I want to take a comment from somebody too, because when we talked about Terry, and we want to get back to Serena too, because we need the Serenas in our lives to help us to be able to say no, because no is such a powerful word, but many of us lose our voice when it comes to saying no. Because I know I was like that. But what I remember is when Oprah Winfrey talked about being a people pleaser, and sometimes we are people pleasers, and we're big dreamers, but we're people pleasers. So instead of saying no when we need to say no, we say yes. But I want to get to this comment that someone made to you. Her name is Lakeisha Anderson, and she's out of California. She said, Terry, she saw you before you saw you. I love that. She's a true partner. Go Terry. That's awesome.
That's my sister-in-law. My wife is Jan.
Right.
Jan always believed in me.
Right. But I think what Lakeisha's saying, I'm sorry, is that you had the dream and you wanted to come to fruition. And Terry saw the awesomeness in you, and she saw the love in your heart. And so because she saw it, and she saw you before you saw you, having that desire and having that love, she wanted to send that message to you. But she may be talking about she's your wife as well, because she did say she's a true partner. So you've got an awesome wife.
I have a phenomenal wife. I don't have a wife.
Been with you through so much, because you just had your eye surgery, right?
Yeah, I don't have a wife. I have a girlfriend for life.
I was waiting for you to tell people that. Can you tell people why you say that?
Because, my wife and I, we're going on our 32nd wedding anniversary. This is going to be a shock, but she'll tell you, she's out of the room. We have never, ever, ever celebrated an anniversary. Never.
Awesome.
We went to the courthouse, got married. They said, you want a pastor or a judge? We chose a pastor. So many people put so much pressure on that birthday, that anniversary, and that's why we have a 51% divorce rate. I have a friend.
Yes.
I have a friend. She will call me every
Mhm.
year on her anniversary and say, "You better tell your boy to buy me something." And she's not kid. She's not kidding. She's not kidding. So
She
my
mean
wife and I,
that.
we
Mhm.
make our anniversary every
Mhm.
single day, right?
Awesome.
My wife and I have worked together for 30 some years. We've only been apart a couple of times.
Mhm.
That's it. My wife is I wouldn't listen. Any married couple out there, if you want to know how to get to 32 years and be happy, right? This is what you do. Guys, never stop dating your wife, and
Mhm.
wives, never stop flirting with your husband. My wife's just
Awesome.
flirting with me in there. My wife in the other
Awesome.
room, my wife is just flirting with me, right? You have to
No
keep that
wonder
going on.
I thought I heard something when I had you in the studio, like on standby. I was like, "What's
Yeah.
that noise?"
You can't see people stop stuff, right?
Yeah.
Couples forget about when they first met.
Mm-hmm.
They forget about when they first met. This is how most marriages go on, say, Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Listen, I just got my wife and my niece something for Valentine's Day. What's the date today? It's not February 14th, is it?
No,
See, we don't go by those rules. We don't go by those rules. Every day should be February 14th. So
that's right.
this way most marriages last. When you're dating, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Valentine's Day. The guys looking all over the stores. Got to get this, spend
Yes.
all this money. After they get married, the dude walks by the bedroom that throws a Hershey kiss and say, "There you go."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the sad part.
And that's powerful. And let me tell you something too. I love what you said that you're dating your girlfriend, because what I hear people say is when you get married, it's a ball and chain. But when it's your girlfriend, you're always doing something exciting. You always want to make her feel like every day is Valentine's Day. Every day is that special day. And each day is more special than the last day. So that's a very powerful statement. And we got Tracy R. Kincaid. She's on. She said also, power, exclamation point, believe in someone else's belief in you. And she was saying that in regard to something else
Listen,
that you
my
said.
my girlfriend life is not a ball of change. She's a 5'1" ball of fun.
Fun. Awesome
A ball of
sauce.
fun.
Awesome, awesome. So Dana said, yes, that makes sense, Greg. What you were saying earlier about people believing in you. She said that makes sense. So I wanted to share that with you. And also, Greg, we have Jeff Markinet Jr. on with us. And hey, Greg, we happy to have you. And Greg said that I believe in you. I mean, Jeff said, I believe in you, Greg.
Jeff is one of my Impact Speaker Academy graduates. Jeff has a phenomenal story. I told Jeff I'm getting him a TEDx talk this year.
Awesome.
I will get Jeff Markinet Jr. a TEDx this year because I love that young man.
So,
He just got done speaking with
yep.
my big brother Les Brown.
Mhm.
Jeff has a phenomenal story.
Exactly. And you know, I had the honor of talking with Jeff earlier this week when he was preparing to go there to North Carolina to speak with Les Brown and Dr. Reuben West and all those other phenomenal speakers. And Jeff is really a wonderful gentleman. He really works hard and hones on his practice. I mean, Jeff and I was on the phone late at night and early in the part of the day, and he's really passionate about his story. And he's really passionate about making every second count. So yeah, we love you, Jeff. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see him on this TEDx talk because I know he's going to crush it. And Lakeisha Anderson said, Lotus, you explained what I was saying perfectly. So thank you very much. I'm happy that that I was able to explain that. And what she said was partners are not always your spouse. Okay, so great. So I'm sure you and Terry are pretty close because
Very close.
she's been your partner as far as being your sister-in-law, being your friend, being there to support you. So that's great. So Jeff said, girlfriend for life, exclamation point. You know, Jeff loves that. That's great. Lakeisha said, I love that, my girlfriend for life. So you got a bunch of thumbs up. People love that. And that's a great way of teaching people how to think about their mates. So I love it. I love it.
I mean, Lotus, think about this. Why is it when we're dating, we always hold hands? But
Yes.
you rarely see married couples holding hands. That's why when I see an older couple and I found out they've been married 67 years holding hands,
Yes.
I'll usually buy them lunch or something.
That's awesome.
And you know why it is? People don't last because they think they take ownership in something when they
Right.
get married.
That's true. That's true. And they don't, and the thing about it is that it's important that we understand that we don't own the person. We are blessed to have them share their lives with us, because really they could be with anybody in the world, but they have blessed us by coming into our lives, and sharing our lives with us. So,
Listen,
guys,
at 54 years old, and I don't know what this means, Lotus, but at 54, I looked at my wife the other day. I said, "Baby, you want to have a baby?" And then I don't know what this means, but I don't know what this means. But she went to the front door and opened it, and
uh-huh.
I said, "What are you doing?" She says, "I'm looking for 3 wise men." Because she said her baby box is closed.
Her baby box is closed.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But I just want to tell everybody that when you talk with Jeff, and when you talk with Greg, and when you talk with Dana, Priyanka Hammond, that's on this podcast, you really find out so many amazing, amazing things. That one, family is not because of the color of your skin. Family is not because of who you're born to, but it's growing and embracing people into your life that helps you to make change. And when you have some struggles, they're there for you. So, Greg, I wanted to ask you this, because I know that you have so many awesome people that have been there for you, and that you draw on, especially Les Brown. Let me ask you this, because a lot of people don't have that. So what would you tell a person that doesn't have a Les Brown in their life?
Well, there's Les Browns everywhere. There's Dave Thomas, there's Fred DeLucas
Mhm.
everywhere. There's Greg Walkers
Mhm.
everywhere. I was speaking at a thing called Minutes with Millionaires, and
Mhm.
it was me and 3 other millionaires in North Carolina a couple years ago. Someone said, "How
Yes.
do I get the attention of a millionaire?"
Hmm.
I say, "You find them, and
Right.
then you do the right thing. You become a genuine, honest, real person. You don't go up and say, 'Hey, can you teach me to become a millionaire?'" No,
Yes.
I always believe that if you're going to take Warren Buffett out to eat,
Hmm.
most people, Lotus, would expect Warren Buffett to pay.
Right.
Most
Yep.
Americans, and I say, what could he learn from me? But what I could learn
What did I
everything
learn
from.
from him? Yep.
So I tell
Exactly.
people, be honest. And I told that young man, you just find a millionaire and just try to find them on Facebook, find them on Instagram,
Right.
and you ask in questions like my brother Mario Armstrong on the Today Show
Mhm.
said. He says, ask questions of 3s. Go for the little question,
Right.
the medium one, and then go for the big one. But most people want to ask the favor of the big one first. They don't
Right.
want to get to know you first. So I
Exactly.
tell people, find someone. There's someone at a high school,
Hmm.
right? There's someone and it doesn't have to be the person at the top. Listen,
Right.
I listen to a lot of people who have
Mhm.
nothing. They live in the hood, right?
Mhm.
Older men in their
Yep.
70s.
Hmm.
I listen to them
Hmm.
because they are billionaires in their mind. So it doesn't.
Right.
Most people in America think when you're talking to someone successful, it's always about money. It's not.
Right.
My brother T. Wayne Gatewood didn't have a lot of money,
Hmm.
but we talked nightly,
Right.
nightly, right? And that man he poured into me so much. So I want people to get out of their mind that a mentor has to be a millionaire. They
Right.
don't. They don't,
Exactly.
because the knowledge that they will give you,
Hmm.
maybe they had the knowledge to become a millionaire or a billionaire,
Right.
but they didn't want that.
Right.
Because when people think of success, all they want to know is about 7 figures.
Hmm. So
Right?
let me ask you this, because I always look at people, especially people that I see on the street, and I'm, when they come in restaurants, I'll ask them for permission to buy them something to eat. I'll invite them to my table, because what I realized, and this has really happened to me, I went into a restaurant, and I was out with some folks for lunch, and there was this lady. She was really, really, really soiled, and her skin looked beige. That's how dirty she was. And she was up by it was a hibachi grill place that we were in, and she was up by the bar where they cook your food, and everybody was like looking at her and standing away from her, but she was telling the cook a way that she wanted her soup or whatever she was getting put together. So I went up on her and I said, "Hey, what you mixing up there? Must be good, you know." So I just started the conversation with her, and she started telling me, "Well, I'm doing this," and she started telling me, why. And then I talked to her. We just kicked up a conversation, and she was a professor at one time, but then she was living in her car because she became homeless. She was like, I had the whole white picket fence and all that, and then when it falls apart, it falls apart. And man, that was some of the most powerful conversation pieces that I had in those few moments, because I just listened to her and she gave me so much wisdom. But the most important thing is that you got to treat people the way you want to be treated and better. And the people I was with, they was like, "Come on, come on, let's go eat, let's go eat." And I was like, "You guys go ahead." So when I finally come to the table, I had actually asked her, "Would you like to come and eat with us? We're sitting over there." And she turned me down. And she said, "Thanks, Lotus," because I introduced myself to her and everything. I said, "Thanks." She said, "Thanks, Lotus. But no, because I only get to come here once a month because I don't have much money. And when I come here, I like to read the certain section of the newspaper." And so I said, "Okay." And I said, "How often do you come here?" And she told me. I said, "Well, anytime you're going to come up, if you would like to have lunch with me, here's my card. Call me." Because I worked at the university at the time, which was like right around the corner. So I was happy to just come up and have lunch because I knew I could learn something from her. And I wouldn't be afraid to ask those 3 questions. And I didn't sit in judgment of her. And when I left her, to go to my table, I stopped by the counter, and I said, "Listen, that lady right there, I would like to pay for her lunch, but don't tell her I've paid," because I knew she would have told me no. So I paid for the lunch, but the guy there, he was like, "Oh, we don't really want her here," and it angered me, and I said, "Let me ask you something. Why don't you want her here? She's here. She comes. She's paying her own money. She's not bothering anybody. She's not saying anything. She's dirty. So what? She has the right to be here. She's a paying customer." And so somebody didn't get a tip that day. And I pride myself on being a good tipper. And I went back to my table, and then when I got ready to leave, she approached me, and it was like she had tears in her eyes, like, "Thank you so much. I appreciate it," because I thought, okay, this will give you another day during the month where you can come and do the simple thing that you love to do you know and it's so important for us not to judge people and to know, don't look down on anybody, because just because they seem like they're on the street today doesn't mean that they've always been there.
Listen to this. Goethe said this, German philosopher. Look at a man or woman as they are,
Yes.
and they only become worse. But look at that man or woman as what they could be, then
Yes.
they become who they should be.
Exactly.
Right? You don't look at a guy. I don't look at a guy who's sweeping the floors in a building as a janitor. I look at he could be the CEO. Maybe he's just helping out that day.
Exactly. And that's a thing that we all have to learn as the spiritual beings that we are, because we're all spiritual beings having a human experience. And I think that kind of levels the playing field when we look at people from a human standpoint from a spiritual standpoint rather than a human standpoint. So I got a question for you. You said ask the 3 questions. Ask questions in threes. So what is one of the first questions you would ask somebody that you see that you aspire to be?
Ask them, who are their family?
Mm-hmm.
What do most Americans say when they meet someone?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Right. That's true.
And so I ask, do you have a family? One of the great stories is my wife and I, we were going into fixed sandwiches
Mm-hmm.
at one of our restaurants one time,
Mm-hmm.
because I think we were going somewhere with our friends, and we went and fixed a bunch of free food. So I'm
Right.
standing there, and I'm just wearing a regular outfit. And my
Mm-hmm.
manager had a manager shirt on. This guy walked by me,
Uh-huh.
and I said, "Hey, sir, how you doing?" I reached out my hand to shake his
Mm-hmm.
hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was heading out the door, and he
Mm-hmm.
didn't even shake my hand. And he looked
Right.
at me, so he's, "I'm gonna go speak to the guy right there." Well, I'm looking at my wife, like, and my daughter, And I'm like, wow. So I look at my manager. My manager just looks over towards me and my wife, and he goes, I can read his lips. He's the owner. Pointing at me. So guess what the guy did? He made a U-turn. He came and said, hey, how you doing, bud? What did I do? I'm sorry, we gotta go.
Exactly.
We gotta go good, because if you don't want to know me and you think I'm just a regular worker, I don't want to know you. So I always ask people. I never ask people. I always tell my daughter, my nieces, don't ever ask someone what they do. That's the dumbest thing. Ask them this: why do you do what you do?
And
I want to know why you do something.
So you said ask them, why do they do what
they do? What they do. Yeah.
You know, it's so funny because I would tell people I'm not impressed by titles. I have a lot of friends who are scientists, who are doctors, who are mayors, who are attorneys, who are just the creme de la creme in some people's eyes. And I don't get excited by titles. I get excited by action. So question number 2 is, what do you do? For me, why do you do what you do? What do you do? And what change does it make on the planet? That's what I ask.
See, I'm not a part of the National Speakers Association, NSA, because that's buying a title. But on my book, my #1 best-selling book, I have the past 10-year president, Mike Frank, who wrote phenomenal things about me. See, I'm not a part of the organization because I don't believe in buying titles, but I got the past president for 10 years. And that's because we met in a pizza shop with my then young niece, who's now older. And we just had that conversation. So when he heard I had a book coming out, he called me. He says, Greg, I heard you got a book coming out. Yes, sir. He said, I want to write something. I said, but Mike, I didn't do the $25,000. He said, you don't have to. I want to write something for your book.
Right. So I'm happy you said that. So let's talk about some of your books, because, like, Greg is kind of modest, folks. Greg is modest. He's not going to tell y'all a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and spill the beans, because Greg is he's not only a speaker. Okay. He's not only a motivational coach. He's not only a big dreamer. He's not only, just a friend next door. He's not only an empowerment speaker. He's all of those things and more, but he's also an author. So I want to share some of the books with the group. Okay. And I want to take a break before we do that and tell folks, come on in. We happy to have you. Get in where you fit in, because you always fit right here. I always got room around the table for you. And while you coming in, go ahead and write in that I'm here, and let us know where you're from, what city you're from. Okay. Let us know what city you're from. And in the meanwhile, Greg, let's take a sip. Good old water. What you drinking, Greg?
Water.
And what is that, a gallon?
That's a gallon. I drink 1.5 gallons a day.
Why you drink so much water?
I'm a type 1 diabetic, and your kidneys need water. Your kidneys are a filter, like a coffee filter. And it filters all the bad stuff out. That's why I had an eye problem. I have surgery.
Yes.
I can't see out of this eye.
Yes.
That's why I lost most of my foot on my left foot, because I'm a type 1 diabetic. So water is the most important thing you can drink. And your kidneys, think of your kidneys as a filter in a coffee machine.
Right.
I don't drink coffee, but it filters all the stuff out.
Right.
That's what your kidneys do. And you're not drinking enough water. It's like driving a car without getting your oil changed.
So see, I told you guys, he's phenomenal. And he can tell you a little bit about health. So maybe we can come back one day and talk to you about having diabetes and what you need to do to help yourself ignite and take flight and be healthier and really be able to live the big dream that you're dreaming. So Greg, I wanted to talk to you about your books. I know you have this one book, you said, that Let's Change Your Life, but you have this amazing book, and I know it's come from those people that have changed your life and you wanting to change lives of millions. And one of your books is The Magnetic Entrepreneur. Can you tell us a little bit about The Magnetic Entrepreneur?
Well, I'm a co-author with Robert J. Moore in Canada. He's one of my buddies. So he asked me to co-author that. And it's just a bunch of entrepreneurs that tell their story, and they're telling how we overcame things. Because entrepreneurs, we are this is Robert's book right there.
Mhm.
We are a weird breed. Entrepreneur, we
Mhm.
will work 1,000 hours a week, so we don't have to work for 40 hours a week for someone,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
So and listen, if anybody wants to get in the Guinness Book of World's Record, my buddy Robert J. Moore, that's his book right there,
Mhm.
I co-authored with. Robert, you can become a Guinness Book of World Record holder in
Mhm.
Canada, in Toronto, Canada. And if you look up Robert J. Moore, man, he's only taken, I think, a couple hundred people, and
Mhm.
people are signing up fast. But you'll get the
Awesome.
certificate. You'll get the certificate to show that you're a world record holder with the Guinness company. So it's a phenomenal thing. So yeah, Robert asked me to do something there.
Awesome.
I also wrote the forward for one of his books. I've written many forewords, which I can't believe
Mhm.
people want me to write. So that's one of the books I co-authored. Another one I co-authored was Les Brown Changed Our Life by Dr. Patrick Busing in
Mhm.
London. And then my
Mhm.
main book, of course, is Dream to Grow Rich: How to Dream, Grind, and Hustle Your Way to
So,
Success.
so hold on here. This magnetic entrepreneur, it says celebrities keep it real. So see,
Yep.
that's what I'm talking about. Greg is so modest, but Greg is a celebrity. Greg is a millionaire. He owns a multiple array of restaurant chains and things of that nature. He's a writer. He's a he's a motivational speaker. He's just amazing. And I just want to tell you, we were talking about some of his books. Okay. And he talked about the magnetic entrepreneur. And who's going to also tell you that, hey, if you want to get in the Guinness Book of World Records, this is who you need to contact. So why don't we do this? Because I'm sure that there are people out there that want to get into the Guinness Book of World Records. So spell his name for me.
Robert, ROBERT, and then J, and then Moore, MOORE.
Just like it is on the book. So
he's
Robert
on
J. Moore.
He's on Facebook. Yeah, he's on Facebook. Connect with him. Maybe someone can even tag him in this post.
All right.
Robert is a phenomenal guy.
So Robert J. Moore, somebody tag him in this post if you would. And we've got 15 comments, and give me a second and I'm going to get the contacts, and then we're going to come back to the books. How about that? We check out some of the comments. Okay. Because I know folks are asking some questions. So folks, give me a second. And I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to get your questions. And I see, let's see, Lakeisha, I'm sipping with you. So thank you. Let's all take a sip. Come on. I'm sipping with you. Water is best. We want to keep our filtration system working. Dana has also joined us. She said, yes, I can't live without water. So that's good. So when you come on my show, make sure you got your glass, your cup, your bottle, whatever you got. Bring your water, because we're going to enlighten our mind and fortify our body. Okay. So Larry says hi. Larry says hi, and God bless you, Greg. Of course, Lakeisha, we want to see that. Okay. And Dana is all in with you. And let's see what we got. Dana said, I want to get into it too. So Dana wants to get in the Guinness Book of World Records. So Dana, I put the information down there so that you can see it, and we'll go back to it again. And hey, Tracy, thanks for coming back.
Dana's one of my graduates too. So just tell Dana to get a hold of me and I'll connect with Robert.
Okay, fantastic. So Dana, make sure you get a hold of Greg, and he's going to put you in touch with Robert. Okay, she does have the right to be that restaurant. You did the right thing. I would have done. Oh, here we go. I got a post from Dana. Dana said, when we talked about the lady at the restaurant, she said she does have the right to be at the restaurant. You did the right thing, Lotus Roche. I would have done the same thing too. So that's great. Thank you for sharing that comment, because we really have to do better. And Lakeisha had a comment also about our discussion. She said, we can never judge a book by its cover. You never know where they have been. And that's the thing. You know, you had a person, they didn't want to talk to you because they didn't know who you were. And sometimes we miss our blessings because we miss the message that someone can have. So have you ever been in a situation, Greg, where you think you might have missed a message because you didn't stop to take time?
Stop to take time to someone?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah, I've done that one time in my life, and it's a regret that I live with the rest of my life. I was supposed to meet one of my brothers somewhere one time, and I don't have a relationship with my family because I went a totally different direction, and I went looking for my brother, and I was going into the restaurant where I told him to come meet me at,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't show up,
Mm-hmm.
and saw this homeless guy kept asking for money
Mm-hmm.
from other all kinds of people and everything. And normally I
Yes.
give people money, but I wouldn't give
Mm-hmm.
this guy money, and
Right.
it was aggravating me. And finally I left, and
Mm-hmm.
I never got to see my brother, and that homeless guy was my brother.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow.
so that's something that I live with, right? That I
And
didn't.
that's why we got to do what Jeff Martinet Jr. always tell us. We got to make every second count. And Jeff wanted he's got a question for me to ask of you. He said, ask Greg where we met.
We met at an Eric Thomas conference in Cleveland, Ohio.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Jeff was sitting beside me, and he was cracking me up.
So Greg, I'm gonna ask Jeff. Jeff, if that's right, give me a thumbs up or say correct. Say correct. So what I want to do, folks, is I want to go back and I want to look at the other book that we're going to talk about in a minute, that was written by Greg Walker. We talked about The Magnetic Entrepreneur, and definitely you can go to Barnes & Noble, you can go to Books A Million, you can also go to Amazon and get that book. And it's not only filled with Jeff's amazing thoughts, but he is with a myriad of other celebrities that are keeping it real and talking about how they got to where they are, the journey that they endured, and how they sustained, but also ways to give back once you get there, and even while you're on your journey of how to get there. So Greg has another book that he's authored, right? And we're going to look at that one really quick. Let's see here. We've got the one with Robert J. Moore, and there's another book that you produced. What's the name of it?
That was written with Dr. Patrick Bussing in London, called Les Brown Changed Our Lives.
Okay, so I had that one up earlier. Les Brown Changed Our Life. And that book can also be found at Amazon,
Yeah,
Books A Million,
yeah,
and Barnes & Noble, correct?
yeah.
And I know you wrote a third book. And what's your favorite book out of all the books that you've written?
It's my main book, Dream to Grow Rich: How to Dream, Grind, and Hustle Your Way to Success.
Okay, Dream to Grow Rich. So let me take a look at that book, because you say it's your favorite book. So I want to go ahead and share my screen with all of you so that you can see it. Okay. You can get this book, Dream to Grow Rich: How to Dream, Grind, Hustle Your Way to Success. And the book is very, very affordable at $19.99. You can go right here on Amazon and you can pick that book up. It comes in paperback. You can also get it on Kindle. It's unlimited. And if you want a hardcover, like I love the hardcover copies, it's only $29.99. Okay. And you can get this book on Amazon. And if you get it, well, for me, it's got my address on there, but I can have that book by Wednesday if I didn't already have it. So that's the book that you definitely want to get. So if you would, Greg, tell us a little bit about the book and tell us what inspired you to write the book.
Well, I never wanted to write a book, never. It's just about my life of overcoming obstacles with 14 siblings and how I came from nothing to basically build up a small empire. And it's everything from me going to the World Championship public speaking. And my book, I never wanted to write a book. Some lady heard my speech in Toastmasters and said, Greg, you need to turn your story into a book. I said, I don't write books. So she helped me do it, and we did it in about 6 months. And the rest was history. Les Brown wrote the foreword. I have Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant's coach, Jim Clemens, one of 3 men who has 10 NBA rings. I actually just coached Jim's wife 4 days ago on a business deal. I have Mike Frank, the past National Speakers Association's president. I have Forbes magazine, a small magazine, Murray Newlands, who wrote
Mhm.
something about me. So I got Professor Ruben Arana at
Right.
FAM, Florida A&M University. So I'm blessed to have all these people who want to do things for me. But then I look back at my life and I say, why did all these phenomenal people want to do something for me? It's because I treat them right. I
Right.
do the right thing. You know, tomorrow we celebrate Dr. King, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. King always says it's always the right time to do the right thing. And
Exactly.
that's what I've always done for people, and I still do it to this day. And when you can build those relationships,
Mhm.
that's when your world turns around. And that's my whole life is about building relationships. Like with Jeff,
Yes.
you know, in a
Mhm.
world where we text everything, very
Mhm.
few people pick up a phone and call someone.
Wow. That's true. That's true. And I find myself really preferring to just pick up the phone and talk to a person,
Yeah,
because for me, it's more personable. Um,
it is.
Before, I hated being on the phone for so long. I just get in the car and I drive to the person's house. And now, because technology has been so wonderful to us, it's easy just to pick up the phone and I can see you and we can do these podcasts and we can help millions of people change their lives for the better. And
Listen,
yeah,
Jeff is texting me right now. So Jeff, I can't answer your text or I'll leave the program.
that's right, Jeff. So keep looking. And I'll tell you what, Jeff, if it's super important, you text it right here and I'll say it out loud. Or I
Well,
can just put it on the screen.
you know, Lotus, that's something I teach my speakers in my Impact Speaker Academy.
Yes.
Is once someone gets back with you with an email where they want to talk to you about a
Mhm.
speaking gig, you call them. You pick up the phone and you call them right away.
Mhm. That's true.
Because
Hey.
you can tell someone about yourself on a piece of paper, but when you come
Mhm.
across live, that's where they get to
Yes.
feel that vibe. They get to feel that
Yes.
energy from you. And so many speakers don't get paid gigs because all they do is send emails.
Yes. Well, guess what? Dana Priyanka Hammond said, I sure will contact you, Greg Walker. I got your contact number. So we know Dana's going to contact you, um, and get with you and talk to you. And also Tracy R. Kincaid, she's a phenomenal singer. She has the new song called Goals, and I'm really looking for that song to go viral globally. And so whatever help you can be, Greg, to get this going, yeah, we would love your help, because on our way
So
out, I'm gonna play that song Goals by Tracy R. Kincaid. She's an actress,
that
and
was,
actually she's coming up in a new play that's out. And she was also in the she was one of the extras in what's the name of that show? Come on, Tracy, help me out. Put it up there. Empire. She was also in Empire.
yeah.
So she's phenomenal.
I know somebody who plays an Empire, and he also was in the movie Harriet.
Oh,
It was my
awesome.
brother Charles D. Clark. So give
Awesome.
her my cell phone number,
Okay,
Lotus.
I'll do it soon. Hey,
I'll speak with
look,
her.
Tracy, soon as we get off the podcast, I'm going to call you and I'm going to give you his personal number and you can call him. And see, this is why I told people, make sure you come on in, get in where you fit in, because I've always got room around the table for you, because I'm not talking to somebody who's selfish with their knowledge or with their contacts. I am talking to the big dreamer himself, Greg Walker, and he's loving enough and kind enough to give you the information that you need to help you really ascertain the dreams that you want. Now, I want to talk a little bit about, because it's almost time for us to close. I want to talk a little bit about this Impact Speakers Academy. Can you tell us a little bit about the Impact Speakers Academy? Because I saw Dana Priyanka, she talked about that she was in your Impact Academy, Speakers Impact Academy, and Jeff also said he was in there. And of course, I'm going. I just put the flyer out last week. It's going to be in Ohio. So can you tell us a little bit about it? Why you started it? I'm asking the 3 questions. Why you started? Okay. Who inspired you? And tell us about it, what it's all about.
Well, the Impact Speakers Academy came, you know, I'm not a teacher. I teach in a different way. I don't write speeches from when I went to World Championship to where people pay me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my wife and Les, you know, they both said,
Right.
when are you going to teach people what you've done? I said, I have with restaurants. I've done a lot of that. And my wife said, no,
Yep.
dear, with speaking. And Les said the same thing. I said, Les, you train people to speak. I said, I don't want to take anything from you. And he smiled. And he said, boy, you ain't taking nothing from me, right? He just charges 100 times more than me. And I said, I'm not a teacher. And Les and my wife both said, Greg, just teach what you've done, because you went to the world, from not asking your wife to marry you to going to the World Championship of Public Speaking in a short amount of time. And now you're getting paid to speak. Yes. You're flying all around the world with your nieces. So they said, and I said, but I don't have a lot of experience. Les says, it's not about the experience. You're doing it. So he said, just teach what you're doing. So now that's all I do. I teach. And I've always used the word impact. And I tell people, if you can impact, then you can inspire. And when you can do those two things, you will have an income. So I call it the 3 I's: impact, inspire, income. And that's what I teach, because, I asked Les, said, how can I pass things on? And he says, Greg, rising tides lifts all boats. Right? So I'm the rising tide, so it's my turn to pass it on. Maya Angelou once said, we learn, we earn, we pass it on. Yes. And that's what I'm doing, is trying to be like Maya Angelou.
Awesome.
That's what I do. And what it is, I teach people, it's called from free to fee, because most people speaking are either speaking for free or they're paying up to $10,000 to speak on someone's stage for 5 minutes. And it doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
It doesn't have to be. All you have to do is learn a system and then put in the work. Is it work? Absolutely. It's a lot of work. Just like and I'm also teaching this time. And in February 7th, 8th, and 9th, this is my second Impact Speaker Academy, from free to fee. I'm going to teach people how to get a TED Talk. Yes. I'm going to teach them step by step how to get a TED Talk. I'm going to teach them what to look for in a TED Talk, because not all TED Talks are the same. And you'll learn that, Loda. And I'm going to show people why not every TED Talk. You don't want any TED Talk, right? You don't. You want to be. My life, I'm strategic about it. So I'm going to teach why you want this TED Talk. I'm going to show you pictures why you don't want this other one, right? Because it's all about credibility. Right. And credibility is everything. And the social proof is everything. So I just teach. I would do, what Maya Angelou said, I learn, I earn, and now I'm passing it on to other people.
Right. Awesome. So for those of you that want to aspire to get that TED Talk going, you need to contact Greg. Okay. And if you inbox me, I'll contact Greg and I'll say, hey, I've got this young person. They want to, emphasis on young, because some of us are, over 20, but I will contact him on your behalf and I will match you with him, and Greg can teach you. And if you are a speaker, if you are a writer and looking to speak, or if you're dreaming about becoming a speaker, but you don't know how, Greg is the man. Greg Walker is the man. You need to come to the Impact Speakers Academy. If you don't know how, if you can't get Greg because you don't have his information, go to Facebook, right here on Facebook, and you can reach him. Greg Walker, the Big Dreamer. If you can't get Greg and you forget what I'm saying, contact me and I'll put you with Greg. Okay, so we've got a comment. I want to go ahead and take that comment. Larry Pace out of North Carolina. He says, yes, he wants to know more. So I'll contact Larry direct and give him more information on you. And hey, Dr. Juma, how you doing? Welcome. Thank you for being here. And all of you that's on here, if you like what Greg has been telling you, if you like what we've been sharing, put in a number 1. If you like what we've been sharing, put in a number 1 so that we know, so that we can do another podcast. We can come back. We can bring Greg back to share some more things with us, to tell us more about the Impact Speakers Academy, or to bring the Impact Speakers Academy to your town, right where you're at. So you can help people within your community become the dynamic speakers that we know that they can become. They also can become speakers on TED Talks. They also can become speakers in their community to empower and enhance the ability for the people in the community just to have a better life.
Lotus, can I say something? There's people say, well, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Yes, you do. One of my Impact Speaker graduates is Terry Smith. He's a plumber from Texas, a plumber. And when I showed Terry of all the places that I can speak to, and I don't know how to do carpentry, how to do anything that. See, there's organizations out there for everybody. And if you want to be a coach, you better learn how to speak. If you want to be a consultant,
Yes.
you better learn how to speak.
Yes.
If you want to get a raise at your job or promotion, you better learn how to speak, because when you open your mouth, as Les always taught me, it tells people who you are.
Yes.
So everyone has a story, and the world needs your story. Your message is someone's medicine in this world.
Yes, that's true. And you know,
And
Greg,
shame
I
on
tell
you.
people their message is their power. Your
And
message is your power.
And shame on you if you don't want to help, because you're being selfish by holding it in. Someone
Yes.
needs to hear your story.
Exactly, because each story brings a level of weight and compassion to it that Greg may not, his voice at that moment may not be ordained to speak to somebody's problem, but your voice might be the one. And wouldn't you love to be able to speak to them from a point of knowledge and coming to the Impact Speakers seminar and learning some more about how you can make this world a better place? Lakisa Anderson out of California said, seems to me if you're dreaming big at any age, you are in the right place and listening to the right people. So thank you for sharing that. So we've talked to you all this evening about how to dream big and how to get to where you're going. We've given you some information, some schematics to help you get there. And if you're trying to get there, of course, Greg is a great way to get there. He's an author of 3 books. He's been coached by the best people on the planet that are still with us, and some that are no longer with us. So as we get ready to close, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for being here. And if you're happy that you were here, put in the bottom, me too. Me too. And those of you that are speakers, those of you that are singers, actors, whoever you are, put down there who you are and where you're from so people can reach out to you. Put in your email address and all of that so they can reach out to you. So before we go, we're going to ask Greg to give us some information on how to reach out to him. So Greg, will you tell us how we can reach out to you, where we can buy your books, and what you've got coming up next?
Well, you can reach me at greginspires.com. Please reach out. And my Facebook is full at 5,000. I have another 2,000 that friend requests. So you can just follow me at Instagram at Greg Inspires.
Mm-hmm.
I check my messages there every day.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to come to the Impact Speaker Academy, if you're a coach, consultant, teacher, pastor, plumber, baker, candlestick maker, or just a regular person, right? If you have a story, you matter, your story matters. If you want to learn how to get booked and paid and go from free to fee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to teach you, I teach people in my academy how to monetize free, right?
Yes.
I teach you how you can sell 36,000 books at $24.99. Do the math there. Most people sell 200 to 500 books in their lifetime. I'm going to teach you how to sell 36,000, right?
Awesome.
So follow, if you want to learn how to speak, if you want to learn how to sell books, if you want to learn how to get a TED Talk, February 7th through the 9th. That's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Columbus, Ohio. I'm going to teach you everything that Les Brown taught me, everything I learned from people like Tony Robbins, through Toastmasters. I'm going to teach you what I learned from Dave Thomas. I teach everything in my course. I leave nothing. It's not just about speaking. It's about life too. I will give you actionable steps that you can use before you leave out of there. So please follow me at Greg Inspires on Instagram. If you want to learn how to become a booked and paid speaker, professional speaker, Impact Speaker Academy, February 7th, 8th, and 9th in Columbus, Ohio.
Fantastic. So don't forget, please go to Greg's website. Make sure you grab his books. It's a schematic on how to be successful. And also don't forget to go to his YouTube, check out his Impact Speakers Academy. You will not be disappointed. And as we move forward, I am going to leave you with this powerful song by Tracy R. Kincaid. The name of this song is called Goals. Okay, so make sure you go on and also check out Tracy R. Kincaid. Okay, check her out. And remember to never give up on your goals, because if you give up on your goals, you're giving up on you. And there's no way that you should be giving up on yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get Tracy's video up for you as we move forward and head out. So here we go. So Tracy, Larry, Dana, Jeff, everybody out here, thank you for being a part of this broadcast. And of course, Greg, I just want to thank you for being on this broadcast. You are amazing as usual. So, with nothing further to say, nothing further to do, we love you, and we are the Big Dreamer, Greg Walker, and Lotus Rashay, because we're bringing inspiration to every nation. And we want you to ignite and take flight and be a big dreamer. Thank you and good evening. God will complete what He started in you. 'Cause you are